This video I want to speak about the power to change the UFC. Just thought about it just right now, and it really makes sense to me. I've been, you know, since I've been on YouTube, I've been pretty much speaking and, kind of protesting against the UFC and the problems with it, and, just MMA in general, but it's mainly UFC because it has the biggest influence all over the world. Just recently they're talking about potentially selling it for like $4.19 billion, and that's how big it is. It started off, they bought it for $2 million, now it's $4.19 billion. So you see how big it's grown, and you see how popular it has become, and it's a lot more popular than I even thought. And this is just the UFC. There are other fighting organizations such as Pride and Strike Force or whatever that's out there. I don't follow it, but UFC is pretty much the biggest influence, and people are driven by the marketing strategy, and people's minds are influenced by what they see in media. So if you promote this type of fighting to the people, then it shapes their vision of what they feel martial arts is. And back in the day, it was Bruce Lee that had the power to do that through Hollywood, through his movies. And then you have other stars like Jet Li and Jackie Chan. They would shape, the audiences and what they feel, what they think is the martial arts. And you got, things like Karate Kid, for example, was popular, and that would shape people's vision of the martial arts. Nowadays, it's the UFC that's trying to shape the people's visions of what the martial arts is. But how do you change that? And I thought about it, if Bruce Lee was still alive, I don't think he would be able to change it to that much of an extent. He could make a difference, but it wouldn't be that much of a difference because he's just one person, Bruce Lee. But I'm talking about more on a financial scale, because if you're talking about the UFC being bought out for $4.19 billion, Bruce Lee would have to have that much money or more in order to acquire it and purchase it, and then basically shape the entire brand according to his vision of what the martial arts it really should be. And he wouldn't have that much money. I wouldn't even think he'd be coming close to that much money, so he wouldn't be able to buy it out, basically. But this wealthy Chinese man that might buy it out, he basically has the power to shape the people's vision of what the martial arts is. If you got $5 billion and then you buy out the UFC, then you can make your own rules, and then you could have every fighter in there, spar or fight according to the rules that you establish, and you create a new framework, a new blueprint of what the people deem as martial arts. And that's something very powerful, and that's almost in a way similar, comparable to maybe almost like buying out Hollywood or something, and then now you get to produce and create whatever movies that you want to do in order to put out the message that you want to put out there. So it's just basically that's just what I thought about today. Bruce Lee was somebody, a legend that was representing the martial arts during his time, but if he was still alive today, I don't think he would have as much power as this person that's going to potentially buy out the UFC.